What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we will be recapping the New York Jets training camp practice. We'll get into some standout names at training camp from this Monday practice.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Guys, good news. BetUS is doing a 125% match deposit bonus for first-time users, up to $2,000 for those who sign up with my link down below in the description and the pinned comment. I will be doing my gambling this year over on BetUS. If you want to get in now's the time to do it. They have odds for the preseason game. If you want to be someone who's betting on the Jets preseason, you can do that. Or if you want to wait till the regular season, you have that option as well. Make sure to check it out over on BetUS and get in on the action. I'm calling today the day of standouts from the lesser known names. Now, these two guys are names that the diehard Jet fans know, but I thought we should discuss them because yes, both these guys have started to have really good camps, but they may be important role players. We will start with Jason Brownlee, the wide receiver who was a UDFA last year, really made some highlight reel catches in OTAs, minicamp, and then in training camp. He made the Jets roster, but was relatively quiet last year, but in today's practice, he made a big catch down the field from Aaron Rodgers, so he's been getting some work in with the first team. And guess who was in coverage? Sauce Gardner, beating Sauce Gardner in coverage. He got off to a bit of a slow start in camp, according to the head coach, Robert Saleh, but he has come on really strong over the last few days and is someone that I am very much so rooting for to make this team. I think he really gives the Jets a skill set that they don't have a ton of. He is a bigger wide receiver who can go up and get the football. Yes, you have that with Mike Williams and Allen Lazard, but it's important to have it with Jason Brownlee as well, and here's why. One, Allen Lazard last year proved to be untrustworthy. He was a healthy scratch down the stretch. Now he has been significantly better this offseason, but Jason Brownlee's ceiling, I would argue, is higher than what Allen Lazard's is going to be. Now, Lazard may have a better floor, but after last year, I'm not so sure. I don't know if I want to see a floor that's worse than that. It was really tough, but having that guy who can come in and do that if Lazard begins to struggle again is important. And then number two, yes, Mike Williams is a bigger guy, jump ball guy, the whole thing, but he's not practicing yet. He's still on the PUP list, and it might be a few weeks into the regular season before he catches on. So Jason Brownlee making the team and being the red zone jump ball guy for at least until Mike Williams is up to speed might be necessary. And I like that he has a connection with Aaron Rodgers already. I think that's promising. Now, the next guy is on the defensive side of the ball, and he will absolutely be making this roster where I guess you can make the case with Jason Brownlee. It's still up in the air, but I think he has a very good shot. And that is Jamen Sherwood, who is this team's third linebacker behind CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams. He intercepted Aaron Rodgers today. It was a deflection, kind of a good place, right place, right time, but still made a play to intercept Aaron Rodgers' pass. And he has been flashing in the run game as well, showing off the speed, going sideline to sideline. Now, Jamen Sherwood hasn't had a ton of playing time in his NFL career just yet, but he discussed CJ Mosley's impact on him.
How much have you learned from CJ Mosley in terms of that, in terms of processing like that?
Just everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, you guys all know I used to play safety, so just like having that chance to sit back behind him for these past few years, I've learned everything. Whether I ask him or don't ask him, just watching him is just as good as that. You know what I'm saying? Just the way he moves, the way he talks, the way he learns, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't say much in the meeting room, but you can just tell from the tape that he should be in the Hall of Fame sooner than later. And then, again, like, I can just give him all the credit. You know, he's been a great blueprint. Same thing with Quincy these past couple of years. Just to watch him excel, to watch him grow, to watch him become a player he should be in this league. You know, both of them are great blueprints for me.
I know there are better players on this Jets roster and on this Jets defense than CJ Mosley, but the importance that Mosley has on the field and being a leader cannot be understated. He is, once again, incredibly important to this team. Quincy Williams at this point has surpassed him in my eyes as being a better all-around linebacker, but the smarts that CJ Mosley has really keeps him as one of the best linebackers in football too. I think you can make a strong case both guys are top 10 in the league at inside linebacker. And yeah, we could talk about, was he worth his contract, the whole thing up for debate, but there's no denying that Mosley's a very good football player, an important leader on this Jets defense. Now, transitioning a little bit into some post-practice things, we found out why Tyron Smith did not practice today. Veteran off day for him. He was experiencing some tightness, which is why he didn't practice. But good news, he is expected back tomorrow. And also, that means that we see more Olu Fashanu, which I love. I am a big fan of seeing the Jets' first-round pick, 11th overall, Olu Fashanu. Robert Saleh said he may eventually get right tackle reps, but they want him to master left tackle first. Now, my feeling on Olu is this. I think, yes, he's played left tackle in college and been really good at left tackle, especially in pass pro. But let's talk about this. With the two veterans the Jets have at their tackle spots. At left tackle, Tyron Smith, who is injury prone and may miss time. He's missed time every single year for the last decade. And then you have Morgan Moses at right tackle, who normally is an Iron Man, but he had offseason surgery, missed 3-4 games last year. My thought is this: if Morgan Moses was to get hurt and miss time, but Tyron Smith is still healthy, am I or are we to believe that Olu Fashanu isn't the next best offensive lineman to come in? Like, would you really go to Max Mitchell or Carter Warren at that point over Olu Fashanu? I think, they always stress getting your best 5 out there. And I'm not saying like play Olu at guard or anything like that. I don't want to do the Tetris that way, but having him come in and play right tackle is something that I think he could handle. And even if that's technically his offside, make the case it was the offside for Carter Warren, but he looked better at right tackle than left tackle, I thought, last year. Max Mitchell also started as a left tackle and moved to right tackle, so it's happened. They've done it before with guys, and I just don't. I think that's a stubborn way to look at it. And I get it. I know they want him to be the long-term left tackle, and that's my plan for him as well. I want that for Olu too, but it's not uncommon for a guy to start on the right side early in his career and eventually move over to the left side. And with Fashanu, again, if Morgan Moses gets hurt, I would rather go, okay, let's plug in our first-round 11th overall pick than Carter Warren, who's a major question mark, and Max Mitchell, who I thought unfortunately really regressed in his second season. Maybe he bounces back, but still, I personally am more comfortable with Olu. As I mentioned, a tough day for the offense. They were not nearly as good. Aaron Rodgers and the first team offense in particular, Rodgers was 4 of 8 with an interception. A lot of tight coverage from the Jets defense. They didn't allow much. And hey, some good news. Will McDonald had what would have been a sack on Aaron Rodgers. Will McDonald's been a hot button issue. I did a video earlier today, and we discussed on Big Apple Blitz that Will McDonald and his weight has been a story. He's like 235 pounds, but he discussed wanting to play closer to 250, and that story was coming around again. And I just let Will McDonald be the bendy edge rusher. I know that, like, not everyone has to be a versatile, meaning they can win with power and with speed. You drafted a guy who's tall and thin and bendy, and why are you going to try to make him into something else? I don't really understand that one, honestly, but that's the Jets on this one. Last but certainly not least, Robert Saleh provided a Hassan Reddick update.
Tomorrow will be 2 weeks on Reddick's holdout. Can you give us an update?
I still have nothing.
Are you surprised that it's lasted this long?
I'm not surprised by anything in the league anymore.
When you made the trade, the organization made the trade, did you ever think that you'd be sitting here 2 weeks into camp and Reddick wouldn't be on the practice field?
I guess it doesn't matter what I thought at the time, but reality is he's not here, but there are, like I said, a bunch of guys who are working their tails off, and Will McDonald, like I said, is getting a lot of reps that he otherwise wouldn't have gotten, and for it, he's been improving it every day.
This is one of those instances where I kind of feel for our guy, Robert Saleh. I don't think he should be the one who has to answer that question. Yes, he's the head coach, so he's going to be asked about it. But, Joe Douglas talks to the media twice a year and gets softball questions and doesn't really have to answer for that stuff. We won't hear from Joe Douglas again until the bye week probably. So lucky Robert Saleh gets to go up there and answer all these questions. But I would like to see Hassan Reddick sooner rather than later. Not that he was necessarily going to play in the first preseason game, but I'd like to see him have some ramp up spot. We just iron this out and get this guy in here, please. That's my hope for this week. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I am Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.